is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Well, apparently not, because that's where Bale gets all his bitches at, apparently. So yeah, But this episode wasn't the typical episode that it is in this show, because for the most part, typically this series has kind of been comedy based with slight action, but this one was dramatic as fuck. Honestly, it was full of drama, and I didn't even know that I was saying this shit until I rewatched my last video. I kept saying that the Soma family worships Loki. I was like, I need to go back and annotate that shit because I meant wine. I didn't do anything to that video. I think what happened, I was uploading the shit. I was trying to render it on Power Director, and it kept fucking up. It just kept fucking up. Every time I fucking put it on Power Director, it just kept fucking up. I don't know what was happening with that shit, and it annoyed me so much. I just went to fucking Windows Movie Maker and just uploaded it. I didn't even fucking watch it. I just uploaded it. Because I watched it, and I was talking about a thing with Hestia, which was this. I'm going to put it here now because I said the shit last time, but I didn't put it there. I didn't even put what I was talking about in the video. I just happened to look at this shit. I was like, what the fuck? But the Soma family worships the wine, is what I was trying to say. They don't worship Loki. They worship the wine. I don't even know why I guess because she was talking and just kept saying Loki. They worship wine. I'm sorry for that. They worship wine, okay? And they don't worship the wine that Loki bought. Well, she didn't buy it, but they didn't worship the wine that Loki had, in this episode and the previous episode. They worship the purest, perfect form of that wine. Because apparently that shit touches your soul when you drink it. That's some good ass liquor, bitch. That shit gets your soul drunk. The shit that sparks your life is now drunk. That's some dope shit. And you turn into a crackhead, basically, if you don't have this wine. You'll do anything for it, Just like most crackheads do. They break into your house, steal shit, try to sell it at the pawn shop. Yeah, this kind of what this is with the Soma family. So the Soma family are the crackhead families of the Dungeon universe, pretty much. And we see Lili Ruka. She's a part of that family, of course. But her motivation is to pretty much buy her freedom, from what I can gather. She wants to gather enough money to buy her freedom. So that's kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? You kind of feel bad for her because you see in her past that she tried to escape from these adventurers. Her parents were murdered, they were killed. I'm kind of confused about that because she hates adventurers. So were her parents killed by adventurers, or were her parents adventurers and went down to the dungeon and died? Because that happens, right? Or were they killed by adventurers? I don't know. I'm assuming they were killed by adventurers because of her hatred for adventurers. You know what I'm saying? Because she just kept bringing up her parents, and then the next thing you see, she's being mistreated by adventurers. I'm assuming that her parents might have been mistreated by some adventurers or put their faith in some adventurers, and the adventurers turned their back on them and they end up dying or some shit. I don't know. But we see that she tried to escape once before, working at like a flower shop or some shit. And the motherfucker who just recognized her at the flower shop just destroyed the flower shop and beat up the old man and woman who owned the shop. And so they kind of sent her away. I was just like, damn. He didn't even touch Lili Ruka. He just beat up two people who weren't even connected to this shit whatsoever, and they forced her out. And so she wants to buy her freedom. That's why she's stealing from Bale. That's why she's doing all this sort of crazy shit. And Aina in this episode, the elf who is Bale's dungeon tour guide, I guess. I don't know. She's very, very suspicious of Lili Ruka and the whole Soma family. She's very suspicious. She actually goes to Loki's castle or whatever to ask questions about it. And Hestia herself is also very suspicious of this girl. She was just like, Bale, everything you told me, it sounded like this girl is shady as shit. You know what I'm saying? She's very, very shady. So I don't know exactly what's going on, but she's hiding some shit from you. And then Bale, he says it, but it cuts off. But we learn later on that he just pretty much was just like, yeah. But she has this look on her face. I can tell she's lonely. The same way I felt in the look before I met you. So if she's feeling that way, I want to save her. That's cool. Bale's a nice dude, man. That's cool. That's cool. But Aina is going to the Loki's palace or whatever to try to get the information, and she actually is talking to Eyes and all that sort of stuff. And Eyes was in this episode a lot, and I can honestly say, just by the way it's panning out, more than likely, Bill is going to end up with Eyes. I can just already see it, more than likely. It might have a harem in, but it's going to be primarily focused on those two. So, yeah. But, he goes to level 10 in this dungeon, and level 10 is, it's a double-digit number, so I'm pretty sure it's where shit starts to get real, right? And it does. It looks completely different from all the caves and shit that they normally in. It's grass and trees and shit all in this place, and he runs into like a fucking ogre. Well, he goes in there because of Lili Ruka's suggestion, and when he's down there, he runs into this fucking ogre, and the ogre picks up this tree called like a terror or something, I forgot what it's called, and it turns into like a fucking club. Like, it wasn't even a tree anymore, it turned into a club, so I was like, holy shit. But he kills it. You know what I'm saying? He uses the sword that Lili Ruka gives him instead of the Hestia knife, which he puts on a pouch on his side. He uses the sword, and he's doing work with that motherfucker. Like, he is really doing work. You know what I'm saying? He stabs the motherfucker in the gut. He stabs him in the fucking leg. The shit turns around. He jumps on top of the motherfucker, stabs him in the chest. I was like, wow, Bale can actually fight. He's cool. But then another ogre shows up. Bale uses the firebolt on that shit. He does it twice, and he kills it. And then more show up, but that's when Bale looks down and notices that there are lures, monster lures, that are being thrown around on the ground. And then, at the very beginning of this episode, we see that Lili Ruka was making something. That she covered her face with. She was covering her face with a mask, and she made something and was putting it into a pouch. Those were the monster lures. And then we see that she actually shoots Bale's satchel with an arrow, and she takes it for herself so she can steal the knife, and she leaves. You know, she just kind of runs out. And Bale is kind of surrounded by these fucking ogres. It's a whole bunch of them. He's surrounded. Lili Ruka goes upstairs, and she's ambushed by the motherfuckers. That one guy who was chasing her in episode 4, and the other people who are part of her family. I can't remember his name, but he also has like animal ears and shit. That guy. She's ambushed by those people, and I don't know what happened between the animal dude and the one guy who was chasing her in episode 4, because they throw some dead ants, like the demon ant things. They throw those at him, the dying ones, and when those die, they call their comrades in to help for the most part. And they just kind of like, so they pretty much use that as bait to surround that guy, and that guy actually gets killed as he runs around the corner. So I was like, I don't know what happened there, because it seemed like they were all working together, but then when it came down to actually splitting the loot, they were just kind of like, nah, fuck off. So I don't know what happened there, but that dude ended up dying, you know. And then they said they're going to protect Lili Ruka. Hey, you in a fucked up situation, so give us all your shit and then we'll save you. And she gives up her key to some vault or something that she had, where she had all the money and stuff that she had been stealing all this time, converted into jewels and hidden there. They take the key and they throw her towards the ants. They're like, fuck that. What sort of adventurer keeps a promise to a supporter? So support us until your death and help us get out of here. And I was just like, damn, you know, it's fucked up. And she just kind of like, this is my sin, you know what I'm saying? Well, I shouldn't say my sin, but she like, that's kind of what I get, you know what I'm saying, for doing it to Bale Coon. Even though he wasn't an adventurer, he was nice to me, but hey, he's still an adventurer, so it doesn't matter. And then Bale just comes in and saves her. He fucking does the firebolt, and he fights all, because there's a lot of them fucking ants. He fights all those ants to protect her, you know, and she's questioning, like, how the fuck did you even get up here? And he was just like, yeah, like, it was another adventurer down there. I couldn't see in the fog, but they protected me, so, you know, here I am. And she's actually berating him and crying, because she's like, why the fuck are you up here? Don't you know that I was stealing from you? You know what I'm saying? Even though I was saying it was 50-50, it wasn't. It was like 60-40. Sometimes it was like 70-30. Like, I would give you 30% and I would take 70 of it. And I was jipping you out of your money and I was stealing from you. And I tried to steal your fucking knife and I called you names behind your back. And at first he was kind of joking. He said this shit. He was just kind of like, I saved you because you're a woman? And then she calls him a pervert and a womanizer and all that stuff. And he was like, all right, in all honesty, I saved you because you're you. That's it. I wanted to rescue you because you're you. I didn't want to leave you alone because you are you. If you need to talk, if you ever have anything that you need to say, talk to me. He said, I'm kind of dumb, so unless you say these things to me, I won't know that you're in trouble, but I will save you. And she cries. It was a sad moment, though. She was a tender, sad moment because she cries and she realizes that he's not like all the other adventurers that she's met and all that sort of shit, you know. And then, we see that Aina was trying to talk to Hestia about trying to convince Bale to fire his supporter, but you know, that's when we get the reveal that Bale said that he's going to protect her no matter what because she was normally like him. And then we see Aina again because Bell tells her that he lost the arm guard that she had bought for him in the 10th level or whatever when he was fighting. Because they actually did see that he got smacked by one of the ogres, so it probably fell off then. But then towards the end of the episode, he actually officially takes Lili Ruka on as his supporter, and she's not going to betray him anymore for the most part, probably. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's probably good now because she realizes that he's not the typical guy, you know what I'm saying, that she thought all adventurers were. So she's his full-time supporter now. I don't know where she's living or if she's still a part of the Soma family, but she's his full-time supporter now, and that's sweet for her. But the episode ends with Eyes. Fucking this episode, man. Eyes finds the arm guard, the green arm guard that was Bell. So she can only assume that it belongs to Bell because there were the only two down there. There were the only two on level 10, so she can only assume it belongs to him. So she's probably going to fucking bring him the arm guard because the next episode is her name. So I was just like, fuck. But in this episode, you can tell something's going on with her feelings towards Belle because when Aina brings up the fact that I'm the kid who you rescued, I'm his guide or whatever, Eyes looks kind of sad. She's like, oh my God, does he hate me? And then she was like, no, he has nothing but the utmost respect for you. You know what I'm saying? He's grateful that you saved his life. And Eyes just gets happy. She barely shows emotion anyway, but she showed worry that Belle hated her. And then immediate fucking happiness when she found out that he didn't hate her and that he wanted to thank her and he respected her and all that shit. So I was just like, yeah, it's probably going to end with them two being together. Oh, fuck, man. It's going to go to shadow, you know. But yeah, man, this episode was dope for shit, though, man. I ran through the whole episode just now. Holy shit. I got to remember to put the Hestia picture on the thing and all that shit. Oh, my God. I'm telling you, if Power Director fucks up on me again this time, it's going to be the same shit that happened last time. But fuck, man. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode, though, man. It was dope to me. Let me know what you thought about it. Bash Stampede again.